Hey everyone, welcome back to another exciting trading video on the channel. Today, I've got something really special lined up for you. I'm going to walk you through a demo of the EMA Script version 2. Yes, this is the updated version of my earlier EMA script, and trust me, it comes with some neat improvements that you're definitely going to find useful in your trading setup. Now, before we dive into the demo, here's what you need to do to get started. First, head over to my Patreon page. You'll find the link in the description below. There, you can download the latest version of the EMA script. This script is exclusive to paid members only, so if you haven't joined yet, now is a great time to support the channel and unlock all the premium tools I've created. Once you've downloaded the script, go ahead and open up TradingView. Copy the script code and paste it into the PineScript editor. Then, simply click the Add to Chart button and you're all set. You'll be able to see the script in action and start using it to make smarter, more informed trades. All right, let's jump into the demo and I'll show you exactly how it works, what's new, and how you can make the most out of it in your own strategy. All right, first things first, let's take a look at the script settings so you can get a clear idea of what's going on behind the scenes. Now, if you've used the previous version, you'll notice that the classic EMA setup is still here. Nothing's changed with that, so if you're already familiar with it, you'll feel right at home. But here's where things get exciting. In this new version, you'll also find a fresh section called Godline Price Action. This is one of the key additions in version 2. It gives you an extra edge in analyzing price behavior with more clarity and precision. Now, hop over to the Style tab, and you'll notice something new there too. You'll see the Godline color settings. This is where you can customize the look of the guideline to suit your visual preferences. Whether you like bold colors, subtle tones, or anything in between, you can tweak it however you like to match your chart style. That's it for the settings overview. Let's move ahead and I'll show you how all of this works in action on the chart. Now let's take a closer look at what you'll actually see on the chart once the script is applied. You'll immediately notice that there are two distinct types of lines on the chart, along with colorful red and green ribbons flowing between them. Don't worry, it's not as complicated as it looks. Here's how it works. You'll see a downward sloping line and an upward sloping line. Let's start with the downward sloping line. Even though it's sloping downward, it actually represents a bullish movement in price. I know that sounds a bit counterintuitive, but here's the idea. When the price comes down and touches or approaches this downward sloping line, it often acts as a support zone, and from there, the price tends to bounce upward. Now let's talk about the upward sloping line. This one is used to signal bearish movement. When this upward line forms, it often acts as a kind of resistance zone. So, if the price moves up and gets close to this line, there's a good chance it could reverse and start moving down. The red and green ribbons between these lines visually show you the trend direction and strength. They make it super easy to spot shifts in momentum at a glance. So in simple terms, downward slope line equals potential bounce up, bullish. Upward sloped line equals potential drop down, bearish. All right, now that we've decoded the chart visuals, let's dive deeper into how to use these signals in your actual trades. All right, now take a look at the chart. You can clearly see that an upward slope has just formed. And as we discussed earlier, an upward sloping line signals potential bearish movement, which means there's a high probability that the price might start moving downward from here. In addition to that, you'll also notice a red ribbon has appeared. This ribbon acts as an extra layer of confirmation. It strengthens the bearish signal and gives me more confidence in taking the trade. So based on these two strong signals, the upward slope and the red ribbon, I'm going to go ahead and enter a sell position here. Now let's talk about the exit strategy. I won't just guess when to close the trade. Instead, I wait for a specific visual cue. I'll be watching for the downward sloping line to appear again. This line usually suggests a bullish reversal, meaning the price might start heading back up. Okay, now take a look. Here it is. The black line, which represents the downward slope, has just formed. That's my signal to exit the trade and lock in the profits. So just to recap, I entered the trade when the fright upward slope and red ribbon appeared. I exited the trade when the downward slope black line was formed. Simple, visual, and effective. Let's move on to the next example so you can see how this setup plays out in different market conditions. All right, now take a look at the chart. A downward slope has just formed. As we discussed earlier, this is a bullish signal, which means there's a chance the price might move upward from here. But instead of jumping in immediately, I waited for one more confirmation. I wanted the price to move above the black line, that downward slope, just to be extra sure the reversal is valid. Once the price crossed above it, I confidently entered a buy position. Now here's where things get interesting. Right after I entered, the price started moving downward instead of up. This is a phase where many traders get trapped or confused, and I totally get it. You enter based on a signal, but then the market starts going against you. It's frustrating, and this is exactly where most people panic and exit early. But what's really happening here is just a market correction. It doesn't necessarily mean the signal was wrong. It just means the market is breathing before the next move. So instead of reacting emotionally, I chose to wait patiently and trust the setup. At this point, I was sitting on a floating loss of nearly $2,000, and that's okay. I want to show you the strength and accuracy of this script, even in tough situations. That's why I didn't exit the trade in panic. And now, just look at the chart. The price is starting to move back up, and I'm slowly recovering the loss. Now, here's my final signal. A black upward slope has just formed. This indicates that the bearish move may return, and it's a good time to exit the buy trade. So I went ahead and closed the position and ended up booking a small loss of just $70. Not bad at all, considering how deep in the red I was earlier. This example perfectly shows the importance of patience, confirmation, and trusting the system, especially when using an advanced tool like this one. Now, before we move on, let me pause here and give you a very important reminder. Just because you saw me hold on to a trade through a big drawdown doesn't mean you should do the same. Please don't try to hold your trades through large losses, especially if you're still learning or new to trading. I want to be very clear about this. I'm the creator of this script, and I've been trading for a long time. I've seen all kinds of market conditions, and I know exactly how to manage risk, when to hold, and when to cut the trade. But if you're just getting started, or even if you're moderately experienced, the best thing you can do is protect your capital. So here's what I recommend for you as a user of this script. Always place a stop loss, and you can use this level right here as a reference point. If the price drops below that level, it's a good indication that the trade isn't going in your favor anymore. In that case, you can switch to a sell position to follow the trend in the opposite direction. Then, to keep it simple, exit the sell position whenever the price moves back above the black line again. This helps you stay on the right side of the market without overthinking it. Remember, the goal isn't to always win. The goal is to protect your account and stay in the game. All right, with that safety tip out of the way, let's jump into the next example so you can see this approach in action. All right, take a look at the chart now. A clear upward slope has just formed. As we discussed earlier, this is usually a bearish signal, which means there's a good chance the price may start heading downward from here. So based on this signal, I'm going to go ahead and enter a sell position. Now remember, I won't be rushing to close the trade right away. The plan is simple. I'll stay in the trade and wait patiently until I see a black downward slope appear on the chart. That line acts as my exit signal, suggesting that the bearish move might be slowing down or reversing. All right, let's give it a moment. There it is. The black line has now formed. The downward slope is visible, and that's my cue to close the trade. So I go ahead and exit the sell position right here. And just like that, I've booked a solid profit of over $1,000. This is how powerful and straightforward this script can be when you follow the signals patiently and stick to your plan. Now let me tell you, this script isn't just any ordinary trading tool. It's a very advanced and multi-purpose script designed to give you an edge in multiple trading scenarios. Let me break it down for you. You can use this script to draw automatic trend lines, helping you spot the overall market direction without any manual work. It also works great as a support and resistance indicator, marking those crucial zones where price tends to react, either bouncing off or breaking through. But it doesn't stop there. This script also helps you identify potential reversals, so you'll know when the trend might be about to change direction. And yes, it's also super helpful for catching breakout moves, whether you're trading ranges, channels, or key levels. Now, here's the part I love the most. Unlike many other indicators out there, this script has zero lag. That means you're getting real-time, responsive signals, not something that shows up after the move has already happened. As I mentioned earlier, this is truly a multi-purpose tool, and I've only scratched the surface here. So in the coming videos, I'll be diving deeper and showing you all the different ways you can use this script, whether you're a scalper, a swing trader, or even a long-term investor. If that sounds exciting, make sure you stay tuned, hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to turn on the notifications so you don't miss any of the upcoming tutorials. All right, before we wrap up today's video, let me quickly walk you through one last small trade analysis, just to show you again how practical and effective this really is. Take a look at this section of the chart. Right here, you can see that a downward slope has formed. According to our strategy, that's our bullish signal. So we go ahead and take a buy position at this point. Now, as we hold the trade, notice how there's quite a bit of volatility in the market right now. The price is moving up and down, and it's not very stable. But here's where the script really helps. Instead of panicking or overreacting, we just stick to the plan. We patiently wait for the next clear signal, which in this case is the formation of an upward slope. And there it is. Once the upward slope appears, that's our cue to exit the trade and book profits. A nice clean trade, guided by the script with no guesswork involved. That's the power of this tool. So if you haven't already, make sure to download the script from my Patreon page. It's available exclusively for paid members. And that's it for today's video. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate your time and support. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you in the next video where we'll explore even more ways to trade smarter using this script. Until then, happy trading.